Imagine this. A single drop of venom from some snakes is powerful enough to kill a human. It attacks nerves, destroys blood, shuts down muscles. Sometimes it can stop breathing completely. Now, here's the strange part. The snake that carries this deadly weapon never gets poisoned by it. Not when it's stored. Not when it leaks inside its own mouth. Not even when it accidentally bites itself. So, why doesn't the world's deadliest weapon kill the animal carrying it? Is the snake somehow immune? Does its blood contain an antidote? Or is something even more surprising happening inside its body? The answer is far more fascinating than you might think. Because snakes don't survive their own venom for just one reason. They survive because of several incredible biological defenses working together. And each layer is even more impressive than the last. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Most people imagine venom flowing freely through a snake's body, as if its blood is constantly filled with poison. But that's completely wrong. Venom never travels through the snake's bloodstream. Instead, it's locked away. Think of it like a highly dangerous chemical factory. Inside the snake's head are special venom glands. These glands produce venom using specialized cells. Once the venom is made, it isn't released into the body. Instead, it's stored inside secure compartments, almost like keeping toxic waste inside a sealed container. As long as the container stays closed, nothing dangerous happens. Imagine owning a bottle of bleach. The bleach itself is dangerous, but simply keeping the bottle on your kitchen shelf won't hurt you. It's only dangerous if it gets somewhere it shouldn't. The same idea applies here. The venom isn't attacking the snake because it isn't interacting with the snake's tissues. It's simply waiting until the snake bites its prey. When that moment comes, powerful muscles surrounding the venom glands squeeze tightly. The venom is pushed through tiny tubes. Those tubes connect directly to hollow fangs. The fangs work almost like hypodermic needles. Within milliseconds, the venom is injected into the victim. Then the entire system closes again. Simple, efficient, safe. At least, most of the time. But here's where things become interesting. Sometimes venom doesn't stay perfectly contained. Tiny amounts can leak. A snake may accidentally drip venom into its own mouth, or even bite itself during fights or feeding accidents. If venom is so deadly, why doesn't that immediately kill the snake? This is where the second layer begins, because storing venom safely is only half the story. The real mystery starts when venom actually touches the snake itself. Here's something surprising. Venom isn't actually designed to be poisonous when you simply touch it. In fact, you could place many snake venoms onto healthy human skin without being poisoned. That sounds crazy, but it's true. Your skin acts like armor. Venom molecules are simply too large to pass through healthy skin. They need another way inside, usually through a bite or an open wound. Without that direct access, most venom can't reach your bloodstream. The same is true for snakes. The inside of their venom glands and much of their mouth are lined with specialized tissues that act as protective barriers. These tissues help prevent venom from entering places where it could cause damage. Think of it like wearing waterproof clothing. Rain is dangerous only if it reaches your skin. The jacket doesn't destroy the water. It simply prevents contact. The snake's protective tissues work in a similar way. They separate the venom from vulnerable cells. But no protective barrier is perfect. Tiny injuries happen. Small cuts appear, especially after feeding. So, wouldn't venom eventually sneak inside? That's exactly what scientists wondered for decades. And the answer revealed another incredible defense system. One that's hidden inside the snake's own blood. Inside the blood of many venomous snakes are specialized proteins. These proteins can recognize certain venom toxins. Instead of allowing those toxins to attack the body's cells, they grab onto them, almost like security guards catching an intruder before it causes trouble. It's an elegant backup system. The first layer keeps venom locked away. The second layer prevents accidental exposure. And the third layer acts as an emergency response team. But here's the twist. Not every snake has the exact same protection. And not every venom works the same way. Which raises an even bigger question. If snakes are protected from their own venom, could they survive the venom of another snake? The answer is far more complicated than you might expect. So, can one venomous snake survive the venom of another? At first, the answer seems obvious. If snakes are immune to venom, then surely every venomous snake should survive every snake bite. Right? Not even close. In fact, some venomous snakes can kill other venomous snakes, and others can even kill members of their own species. So what changed? The answer lies inside the venom itself, because not all venoms are built the same. Imagine walking into a room filled with hundreds of different keys. At first glance, they all look similar. They're all made of metal. They all unlock something. But each key fits only a specific lock. Snake venom works in a surprisingly similar way. Although we call it venom, as if it were one single substance, it's actually an incredibly complex cocktail. A single drop can contain dozens, sometimes even hundreds, of different toxins. Each one has a completely different job. Some toxins attack the nervous system. These are called neurotoxins. They block communication between nerves and muscles. Eventually, the victim can't move, then breathing stops. Other toxins target the blood. These hemotoxins destroy blood vessels, prevent normal clotting. Or sometimes, they do the exact opposite. They force the blood to clot everywhere at once. Both situations are extremely dangerous. Then, there are cytotoxins. Instead of attacking nerves or blood, they attack individual cells. They literally begin dissolving living tissue. Around the bite, muscle starts breaking down, skin begins dying, and severe swelling follows. Different snakes, different recipes. A cobra's venom looks completely different from a rattlesnake's. A black mamba produces a mixture unlike almost anything else. Even closely related snakes can have surprisingly different venom compositions. Nature has been constantly modifying these chemical weapons for millions of years. Now think back to those protective proteins inside a snake's blood. Remember the security guards? Here's the important detail. Those guards are trained to recognize very specific intruders. Not every intruder. Only certain ones. A snake develops protection against the toxins its own body produces, because that's the venom it encounters throughout its life. Its blood evolves alongside its own venom, like two puzzle pieces fitting together. But another species may produce completely different toxins, different shapes, different targets, different chemistry. Suddenly, those security guards don't recognize the threat anymore. And that's where the danger begins. This is exactly why some venomous snakes can kill other venomous snakes. Their natural protection isn't universal. It's highly specialized. Think of it like computer passwords. Knowing your own password doesn't automatically unlock every computer in the world. The protection only works against the system it was designed for. But that's still not the whole story, because even members of the same species aren't always completely protected. Which sounds almost impossible. How can a snake be vulnerable to its own species? The answer depends on something scientists call dose. Imagine wearing a bulletproof vest. It can stop one bullet, maybe even several, but eventually, every defense has limits. The same idea applies here. Protective proteins aren't infinite. They're available in limited amounts. If only a tiny amount of venom enters the bloodstream, the proteins usually neutralize it. No problem. But what if a massive amount of venom enters all at once? Now the defenders become overwhelmed. Some toxin molecules slip through, others reach their targets. The balance changes. And suddenly, even a venomous snake may become seriously injured or die. Fortunately, this doesn't happen very often in nature. Most venomous snakes avoid fighting each other whenever possible. Venom is expensive to produce. Creating it requires a huge amount of energy. Using it on another snake usually isn't worth the cost. Instead, most snakes rely on intimidation, hissing, displaying their bodies, trying to convince the other snake to leave before a fight ever begins. But there is one final mystery, one that scientists didn't fully understand for decades. Because protecting yourself from venom is one thing, actually surviving a venom injection is something entirely different. And hidden inside a snake's cells is perhaps the most incredible defense mechanism of all. After everything we've learned, you might think snakes are simply immune to venom. But here's the biggest surprise of all. They aren't, at least, not in the way most people imagine. There is no magical superpower flowing through a snake's body, no universal antidote, no chemical that instantly destroys every venom molecule. Instead, nature solved the problem in a much smarter way. Imagine trying to protect a priceless treasure. You wouldn't rely on just one lock. You'd build multiple layers of security. A locked vault, security cameras, armed guards, emergency backup systems. If one layer fails, the next one takes over. That's exactly how a venomous snake survives. Layer 1. The venom stays locked inside specialized glands, separated from the rest of the body, safe, secure. Layer 2. Specialized tissues prevent accidental exposure. Even if tiny amounts leak, most of the venom never reaches the bloodstream. Layer 3. If venom somehow gets inside, protective proteins immediately begin capturing toxin molecules, like security guards surrounding an intruder before it reaches its target. None of these defenses are perfect, but together, they create an incredibly reliable system. One layer protects the next. Again, and again, and again. So where does the fourth layer come in? It isn't hidden inside a single organ, or inside one special protein. It's something much bigger. It's evolution itself. For millions of years, snakes have been improving their venom. Every successful hunt rewarded slightly better toxins, slightly faster toxins, slightly deadlier toxins, generation after generation. Their chemical weapons became more sophisticated, but every improvement created a new problem. A more powerful venom also became more dangerous for the snake carrying it. So evolution had to improve the safety system too. Better protective tissues, better storage glands, better defensive proteins. Every upgrade to the weapon required an upgrade to the shield. It's like building a sharper sword, while forging stronger armor at exactly the same time. Neither can stop evolving, because if one side improves, the other has to catch up. This is what biologists call an evolutionary arms race, not between countries, not between armies, but inside nature itself. Predators evolve, prey evolves, venom evolves, resistance evolves. Then venom changes again. The race never truly ends. And that's why snake venom looks so different across the world today. Every species has followed its own evolutionary path. Different prey, different environments, different survival challenges, different chemical weapons. Some snakes became masters of attacking the nervous system. Others specialized in destroying blood. Others evolved toxins that rapidly break apart living tissue. There is no single perfect venom. only the perfect venom for that particular snake's way of surviving. Which brings us back to the original question. Why don't snakes die from their own venom? Because venom was never designed to attack the animal that produces it. It was designed for something else. Its prey, its predators, its survival. The snake doesn't survive because it's magically immune. It survives because millions of years of evolution built one of the most sophisticated biological safety systems on Earth. A system with locks, barriers, protective proteins, and countless tiny adaptations working together every single second. The next time you see a venomous snake, remember this. Inside its head, it carries one of the deadliest chemical weapons ever created by nature. Yet somehow, it safely carries that weapon every single day. Not because nature eliminated the danger, but because nature learned how to control it. And perhaps, that's the most incredible part of all. The deadliest weapon in nature is carried by the one animal that evolved to survive its own masterpiece.